Good morning. Wish to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023. I will note for the record that Commissioner Thomas and I are present here in the Nat U Hill Room, and I believe that Commissioner Jones is with us, yes, virtually. So if Commissioner Jones could please be promoted to panelist, that would be appreciated. And with that, we'll go to our public statement.
We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear, and we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RVB and MCCSC.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move on to department updates. First, we have a proxy for Ms. Kelly. Good morning. Hi, Jamie.
I'm Jamie Ford, the Administrative Assistant for the Monroe County Health Department. Short and sweet today. COVID-like illnesses have had a small increase, and the IDOH flu dashboard is still showing low numbers. We started receiving preliminary wastewater data, so we'll be able to give updates moving forward as more data is received. We continue to update our website with COVID vaccine availability, so if you're looking for which pharmacy has which ones available, you can check our website there. And speaking of that, our public health clinic does have a batch of COVID vaccines that are nearing expiration. So I've opened up availability to provide additional vaccination coverage for those in need. You can make an appointment by calling 812-349-3244. The public health clinic also has RSV for ages 60 and older, as well as flu vaccines. And if you aren't able to get to the clinic this week, they are attending a community resource fair at the Lincoln Street Boys and Girls Club from 11 to 2, where they'll be doing COVID and flu vaccinations. And that's all I have for you today.
Questions or comments?
So where is the wastewater data going to be posted? Is it going to be on our website as well as the state's, or just the state's website?
We can definitely post it to our website if you'd like to see it.
I think that would be great. I think the public would like that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we're still working on cleaning that up, so we'll find a space.
Of course, I know. Thank you.
It's a little crowded.
Gotcha.
Well, and I was talking with a few people at IU Health on Monday, and they're seeing increases of people coming to the ER. And so it is important that people get their flu shots and their COVID boosters, and yeah, it is important for all of us.
Definitely the season for it.
Thank you.
Thanks
for being with us. Sorry, I got to switch off on the virtual here. I forgot to ask Commissioner Jones if she had anything.
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Are there other department updates? Mr. LaRue, welcome.
Hi, Bobby LaRue with the Building Department. I just wanted to thank you all for your work on the interlocal agreement with the city. I apologize I couldn't be here last week for some training, but good conversations with the city, and I think we have a really nice interlocal agreement with them. So thanks for your work there. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. I believe Commissioner Thomas has an update.
Yes, so this is just notification for all county residents outside the city of Bloomington that we are providing, we worked with the council and we created a $400,000 fund for rural housing repair. So this is a way to keep our current housing stock in great shape in the county. And this is funding through the American Rescue Plan Act. And our initial projects list will go up to $20,000, and essentially the funding is available until it runs out. So these are structural repairs, things like HVAC, roof, flooring, foundations, electrical, plumbing, so what we're asking our residents to do is to apply through their township trustee. And if you need that information, you can call us at the Commissioner's office at 349-2550. area code 812. The trustees will assist with putting together the application packet. It's pretty simple, straightforward process, but we are really grateful for our building department, Mr. LaRue, and others who are helping us, helped us, formulate this project and help create it. So, but the idea is this is for low and moderate income residents of Monroe County. And if you're not sure if you qualify, your trustee will be able to help you with that information. Now, all of the trustees have agreed to assist with this project except for Perry Township. So residents in Perry Township outside of the city of Bloomington are encouraged to contact our commissioner's office directly with their application, and we'll work with them directly. And again, that phone number is 812-349-2550, or email us at commissionersoffice@co.monroe.in.us. We're really excited about this program, and we're really grateful for everyone who has helped make this happen. So appreciate the trustees especially.
Commissioner Jones, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I'm just really pleased that we were able to put this together with the help of the council, and hopefully it'll help a lot of people out.
Well, it keeps people in their homes. It maintains homes
Yes.
that otherwise could fall into disrepair. But this is specifically for owner-occupied homes as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Great. Is there any other department that has an update? Seeing none, let's move on to public comment. This is for items not on the agenda. We ask that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes. Please state your name and whether or not you are a Monroe County resident.
Good morning, Commissioners. Christopher MG from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce, a Monroe County resident, and freshly vaccinated duly as of Thursday. I first want to comment on the home repair. I had the honor of meeting with Trustee Rita Barrows yesterday, and I saw firsthand what this home repair is able to do. And I just want to commend you for your work on this. Allowing many of them seniors on fixed income to stay in their home is a big deal, and it's life-changing, and this is a great investment for the community. The second kudos is I want to give both the commissioners and the county council is working together on this transit issue. There was some hiccups with rural transit on what the requirements as far as rural to urban centers, and you were able to come together collaboratively to come up with a solution to provide many people essential transportation to meet their needs. Many of them are seniors, elderly, not doing joyrides, but going to doctor's appointments, very vital. So I want to just commend you for working collectively to make this happen. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, let's move on to approval of the minutes.
I move approval of the minutes for November 29th, 2023.
Second?
Are there any comments or corrections?
I already sent mine in.
Same, it's already been taken care of. Commissioner Jones?
No.
Well, since we've got a hybrid meeting today, I'll ask Mr. Cockrell to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes?
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you. Next item.
I move approval of the claims docket accounts payable December 6th, 2023.
Second?
And we have Mrs. Miller. Good morning.
Good morning. The accounts payable claims docket for December 6, 2023 totals $2,366,320.15. This includes all emergency claims and adjustments.
Questions or comments? No? It seemed like there was a lot of payout for guardian ad litems and things like that. So I wondered if, the sort of the local lawyers are billing at the end of the year to get things taken care of. Commissioner Jones, did you have any comments or questions?
No, I don't.
Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, ask Mr. Cockrell to call roll again.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
I will note for the record that we have a reports from Weights and Measures. I found one item that he had quoted on there to be very interesting, where he talked about trying to figure out how to ensure that electric charging stations are actually supplying what people are paying for. So we look forward to adding that, I guess, to part of his responsibilities. So with that, we'll move on to new business.
I move approval of Resolution 2023-35, approving a statement of benefit for Enhanced Semiconductors, Inc.
Second.
Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, and I'll start with a little of the process on this tax abatement. This tax abatement is different than a lot of tax abatements we go through because it's already in an economic revitalization area, which is the process to establish that as a process that typically takes the council 2 months. But since that has already been declared an economic revitalization area, which is essentially an area where we want to help promote growth, and we are seeing a need to give additional assistance for that growth. That's what that is. This is also in a tax increment finance district, which requires the commissioners to approve the statement of benefits prior to the abatement being issued. This item went through the Economic Development Commission last Friday with a recommendation to approve the tax abatement. At that meeting, I kind of, from a staff perspective, pointed out 3 things that we thought made this a little bit different than our normal abatement, because their request is a little bit different than our normal abatement in that they are asking for a 10-year, 100% abatement each year of the property tax for personal property, so the equipment they're putting in the building. There is no request for a tax abatement on the real property improvement that may be associated with that. We think there will be some, but I'm loath to tell you what the value of that would be because the type of, this is a semiconductor manufacturing, and is it characterized as a real property improvement or is it a personal property improvement? I am not an expert in that, and so I don't want to venture there. But we really looked at 3 different areas where we think this is a positive for the community. One, there are expecting, or they expect by the end of 2029 to have 250 new jobs, and each of those jobs would have a salary in excess of $100,000 on average. So that is quite a bit more than what we typically see in a tax abatement, and that does not include the benefits that we usually add into it as well. So with that total package is much higher than that. The second is that this is going into the former GE plant, which Cook had purchased in the 2017-2018 timeframe to improve and to utilize for their processes. We all know COVID-19 hit, and so that growth into that building has been slowed. And so this is utilizing a former manufacturing site and putting it back into productive use. And the third reason that we looked at this positively is that it is essentially a new type of industry that we're getting in the community, and so we like to diversify our current employers and worker status in there. So those were kind of the three main reasons that I talked with the EDC about, and they based a recommendation on. I would add that you should have received an email yesterday from the Cook Group, who are technically the bondholders for the bond in that. I can tell you that the growth did not occur as we did, but neither did their expenditures. So that bond, essentially the only thing they've pulled from that bond is closing costs, but they are supportive of this. They understand that this could have a negative impact on the revenue of that TIF district, but they would still support the approval of this abatement. So if you have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. I know we have representatives from the company here who would like to give a presentation as well.
I think we just go to the presentation, huh?
Yeah, why don't we start with the presentation, then if we have questions or comments, we'll go with that. So please join us.
Well, thank you, everyone. Tim Conrad with Stimulus Economic Development Advisors, not a Monroe County resident. Pleased to present this. I'm joined by some representatives via Zoom from the company, and including Bob Patty, who is the CEO of Enhanced Semiconductors. I can give kind of a brief overview and then defer to Bob on any technical questions if that works for you, Bob.
Yeah, that would be fine. Very good.
Well, great. Well, if we could proceed to the next slide. A little bit of background on the company. They are a US-based manufacturer of semiconductor technologies. They are a bit of a unicorn that they are US-based but have decades of experience in this industry. They operate a fabrication facility out of North Carolina. They're headquartered out of Illinois, and they, within the last 2 years, have begun operations down just south of us in Westgate on a DoD, Department of Defense dedicated facility. Next slide, please. So the context of this project is a real push to onshore this technology over the last several decades. Most semiconductor manufacturing has moved towards Asia. There is a national push to onshore that. This project specifically would be an advanced packaging facility. When we hear packaging, we're not talking cardboard. We are talking about microelectronics. So think a clean room environment. We're talking about fractions of a hair width of material, so microelectronics. And specifically for the commercial market that this facility would service. In order to do that, they would lease space at the Cook facility that Jeff mentioned. That facility would require pretty significant investment to get it up to spec with all the clean room equipment and a hefty investment in very specialized microelectronics manufacturing equipment. Next slide, please. And I've starred the facility, just so you know. And next slide, please. As part of this project, there would be, as Jeff alluded to, several hundred high-paying jobs created. There would certainly be a strong focus on engineering talent, but not just engineering talent. There will be hundreds of technicians that are needed. These will be probably certificated positions, so not necessarily four-year degrees required. Largely, this talent doesn't exist right now in the US. So any project that is occurring in the US is going to require very robust training. So Enhance is aware of that, training employees, linking up and collaborating with the Ivy Techs, the IUs, even the K through 12 schools is going to be a very important part of this project. The wages on this project, this is going to be a specialized facility, very technical positions. Average wages will be north of $100,000 per year before benefits. Benefits will be provided to all employees. Next slide, please. So The bulk of the investment is going to be in personal property, and we are coming to you today with a request to abate that personal property. Advanced packaging is interesting because the push for the last several decades has been to get chips smaller and smaller, and if you follow technology, Moore's law, we're kind of fighting against physics, how small we can get it now. This technology, very cutting edge, very few people in the nation or the world know how to do this. Enhance is very specialized. But the equipment itself is established. This is not equipment that's going to be obsolete in 3 years. They plan on running this equipment for decades. Their facility down in North Carolina still has original equipment in it. So you see here, I am not a technical guy, but Bob has alluded that a lot of this equipment comes from photography, that you're essentially printing layers on the microchip. And so we're ballparking 150 million of personal property investment. And then several million, probably tens of million, just getting that space up to speed, getting it in that clean room environment where you're talking particles per million environment. Next slide, please. Project benefits. One thing I do just want to be proactive in mentioning is this project is going to be environmentally friendly. There are no heavy metals as part of this process, no significant air emissions. They are not making transistors here. They're printing on chips. So wanted to be proactive in mentioning that. I've listed 4 big benefits. I think Jeff has already hit on some of those. One is investment in an underutilized building. So our request today is for personal property abatement. We're not affecting existing tax base on the building. The creation of high-paying jobs is in working in economic development. We're seeing that quality of jobs is certainly just as important as quantity of jobs. So we're getting both quality and quantity with this project. Third is this new industry that's emerging. There's that push towards onshoring it, and the ability to work with local universities, local schools in building out a really exciting 21st century technology is big. And then finally, part of that ecosystem, what we're seeing with these microelectronics projects is that vendors, suppliers are wanting to be adjacent to one another. So there is the potential where this facility could be a magnet attracting other microelectronics related facilities. That is my 10-minute or 15-minute flyover. We are joined by Bob Patty of Enhanced, and he might just want to have a few quick corrections on all the things I misstated with the technology, and certainly any questions he can answer.
Yes, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that the attendees here might have. Enhanced is unique in this. We are the world leader at the moment in this kind of advanced packaging. This is kind of the next generation of semiconductors. We work with a large number of organizations. In fact, we're currently putting a proposal together with ARI, and which brought the Emmy Commons into Illinois, IBM, many other large companies that would at least be known in the semiconductor industry. We do think that there's a high potential of attracting other entities into the building. It's a large building. We have less than a quarter of it, and are very much looking forward to building out that space. Our facility in North Carolina is going to continue to be in operation and do what it does. The marketplace for advanced package devices is in an exponentiating market today. People are talking about compound annual growth rates in excess of 70% for the next 3 to 10 years, depending on whose numbers you look at. And in fact, Enhanced is experiencing very rapid growth. We've more than tripled our business this year. I'm open to answer any questions that people may have.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Patty. Questions or comments from my colleagues?
No, I don't.
I thank you for coming and thank you for bringing this forward. This is really exciting for all of us in Monroe County. Typically, I'm not a big supporter of doing an abatement in a TIF, but this TIF is a little bit different. And I think it's pretty exciting to consider the possibility that Profile Parkway may get some long-needed business as well, investments. And so this will, I think, lead to others. And you did address all of the questions that I still had left. And, but I do have sort of a finer point question about, related to the environment. And it is about chemicals that are used in this process and,
Sure.
and whether they're considered hazardous and how they're disposed of and things like that.
Okay.
The vast majority of what we use in this process are related to etch of silicon glass and metal. Those chemicals are primarily acids or bases. We neutralize those before they're discharged into the water system. The only permitting that we have gotten in the past that's a special variance is for copper discharge into the waste stream, the water treatment stream. And the reason behind that, for just completeness, is because if you put too much copper in, you kill all the critters that they use to break down the waste. So they have to monitor that. We do that in compliance in North Carolina. We have a real-time monitoring system. We've been doing it at that facility. Enhance has owned the facility for about 6 years, but that facility has been in operation with most of the staff that's still there for more than 20 years and without any issues or incidents. Anything that is hazardous in nature, we do capture. We store on site. We send it off for special waste treatment. I am unaware of any specific liquid waste that are considered extreme waste. You know, there's just things like nickel compounds sometimes that we end up with because nickel plating is something we do. We don't waste treat that on site. It requires special processing, and we don't create enough of it to make it worthwhile treating that ourselves. So we try to exercise an abundance of caution to make sure we're not discharging anything into the air or water that would cause a problem.
Right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that answer.
I don't have any comments or questions either. I appreciate the thoroughness of presentation and also the information we've been given to review before this. I'm encouraged to hear that we're looking at heavy metals and air pollution and things like that. Is there any public comment on this item?
Good morning. My name is Jen Pearl, and I'm the president of the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. And thank you so much for your consideration of this project. Thank you to Enhanced as well for your interest in investing in the community. Our team has had the pleasure of working with them all for many months this year on this project. We see this as an incredible opportunity for Monroe County which is evolving as an epicenter for innovation in Indiana. We're seeing billions of dollars coming through the federal and the state governments, like US CHIPS and Science, infrastructure funds, and Indiana Ready, investments from IU and Crane. And communities like ours can really leverage these opportunities coming in. This is somewhere where we're seeing that opportunity. Enhanced is really a leader, as you've heard, in their field. And their proposed investment of $150 million is actually one of the largest that our team has seen in the last over 4 years of working on projects. Their plans to hire 250 employees with the average annual wage of over $100,000, not including benefits, is higher than our median household income of around $54,000, according to the US Census Bureau. That's especially critical because our local private sector hourly wages actually lag the statewide average. So we're very excited about this, especially because there's avenues for individuals who maybe don't have a 4-year degree for work with them. The abatement request will also help them make a significant investment in equipment and speeding their growth further. It's also investing in a brownfield in our community and a great reuse of the property. So we're really excited about that. So the BEDC supports this project and appreciates your consideration of the abatement request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pearl. Is there any other public comment on this?
Good morning again. Commissioners, Christopher MG from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce, and we do support this resolution before you. The Enhance project for semiconductors, Inc. is a game changer for our economy, and I think there's been a great sort of benefits laid out. I don't want to go through all of those, but that collaboration aspect with already the trades district here in town, the Luddy School, the tech industry, this is really an investment that's going to bring in other investment, which I think is really exciting. And I want to comment and commend the staff of the BEDC, Jen Pearl, Clark Greiner, for the work they do. These sort of deals do not come easily. They do not take a short period of time. And I think it's the real benefit to our community when we have an economic development corporation like BEDC that's driving some of these that are really enhancing our whole region economy and diversifying it for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. MG. Is there anyone else? I'll go back to my colleagues. Anything else?
I would just for clarity's sake like to make an amendment to our actual resolution language, Resolution 2023-35. At the end of the first whereas, this request is a 10-year personal property tax abatement, 100% for each year. And that's just to ensure that we have that information in here because, and the only reason we're hearing this is because it is a TIF, it is an abatement request in a TIF, but I just want to be very clear about what we're agreeing to.
I'll second that, and I'll note for the record that this is parallel with what the county council is approving with the 10-year abatement, yeah. Is there any comment on the amendment? It's just for clarification at this point. If not, would you call a roll on the amendment, please?
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is amended 3-0.
And if there's no other discussion, I'll call for a vote on the resolution 2023-35.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved 3-0.
Thank you all for being here with us today. We look forward to having you in our community.
Thank you.
Next item.
I'm getting to it, sorry. Just so excited about this new. I move approval of a memorandum of agreement with Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council for continued funding for High Tech Crimes Unit, HTCU. Fund name, High Tech Crimes Unit, fund number 9159, in a grant amount of $285,000 annually.
Second.
Thank you, and we have Prosecutor Oliphant here with us. Morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. So this is a request for signature to a memorandum of agreement between myself, the Board of Commissioners, and the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council. As a bit of a refresher, I applied for a grant over 2 years ago to establish and maintain a high-tech crime unit here in Monroe County in partnership with Indiana University. The Monroe County the Monroe County High-Tech Crime Unit was established in 2021, and the Monroe County High-Tech Crime Unit processes digital evidence to improve prosecution outcomes, both by strengthening meritorious cases and by exonerating the innocent. In 2023, the unit received 158 investigation requests for felony level crimes ranging from homicide, child exploitation, arson, narcotics, and property crimes. The investigation requests stem from both law enforcement partners at the local, state, and federal level, as well as prosecuting attorneys from the following counties: Bartholomew, Brown, Greene, Jackson, Lawrence, Marion, Monroe, Morgan, Orange, Owen, and Washington counties. Within those requests, 307 items of evidence have been submitted for examination. These items range from mobile phones, computers, DVR surveillance systems, mass media storage devices, IoT devices, call detail records, and electronic service provider warrant returns. The unit has provided training opportunities for both law enforcement and prosecuting staff members, and assisted in the development of search warrants and subpoenas, as well as providing courtroom testimony as needed. Along with providing support with forensic analysis, the Monroe County High-Tech Crime Unit is also an affiliate with the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and has aided in the investigation, search, and seizure of electronic devices used in the commission of crimes involving sexual child abuse. So I also would just note for the commissioners that we did show this renewal memorandum of agreement to County Attorney Molly Turner King. She made a couple of suggestions regarding language, which we brought back to the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council, and there were some changes based on her suggestions. This is a project that the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council is constantly going to the Indiana General Assembly to demonstrate our results and to request additional funding, which is one reason why the funding paragraph is, you're going to get 1/10 of whatever money we get from Indiana General Assembly. For 2024, that amount is going to be $285,000. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Questions or comments from my colleagues?
Exciting project continuing, and it's really a testament to your great work, you and your staff. Thank you so much for getting this, and it will make a difference.
Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, I just agree. It's great to have this based in Monroe County. It's just a wonderful project.
It's amazing that one of the 11 counties that's included in this is Marion County, and that we're covering this for Marion County. It's pretty startling. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll ask Mr. Cockrell to take the vote.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you, Prosecutor Oliphant. Thank you. Next item.
I move approval of ordinance 2023-48 to amend Monroe County Code Chapter 270 regarding returned checks.
Second.
And we have Treasurer McClellan here. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have ordinance now numbered 2023-48. This ordinance was last updated in 2009. It's basically a return check ordinance. But back in 2009, I'm not sure if we're taking credit card payments at that time, and I'm pretty sure we weren't taking e-checks. And so what has happened over time is we needed to update this ordinance so that when we get returned payments we can get return payments for credit cards, and we definitely get a high number of e-checks. It's hard to enforce this ordinance on that fee because it says checks. And so I worked with Miss Molly Turner King, and the only change we made to the ordinance was any place where it said check, it now says payment. So that is the only change, and that just means that we can charge that fee because it costs us money from the bank, from the credit card company. We send a certified letter. It usually takes a couple of phone calls, if not more, with the customer too, and there's tracking in our office. There's actually a lot of personnel work that goes into working with insufficient payments or return payments. So this ordinance is going to help the treasurer's office be able to work through that.
Excellent. Questions or comments from my colleagues?
Makes sense.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. It's a great idea and needed.
Yeah, very needed. I wish sorry it took me this long to update it.
Is there any public comment on this item? I agree. I think it's absolutely sensible kind of thing to do. So if there's no public comment, then call for a vote.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved at 3-0.
Next item, please.
I move approval of invoice cloud credit card processing agreement, fund name County General, fund number 1000, the amount of $480.
Second.
And again, we have Treasurer McClellan.
This is a contract to change our credit card processor to a company called Invoice Cloud, and we are making this change because our credit card processor that we have been working with, we've been having some problems. The payment site goes down sometimes. We have asked for changes to the way the bills are presented online to make it easier for customers, and it really boils down to we don't like the service that we are getting with our current credit card processor. Invoice Cloud has been the county used to have a contract with Invoice Cloud when I came on as treasurer in 2017. We used to be an Invoice Cloud customer, and then we switched to the company we're using now. And we'd like to go back to Invoice Cloud because their customer service to the counties that they serve is phenomenal. They've made some changes to their company. They've brought a person back into Indiana, and he's with me here today. This is Adam Eck. He is local to Indiana, and his support to other counties is phenomenal. So far, he works with Allen, Hendricks, Marion, Vigo, Madison, those are some of the big ones, and Brown, DeKalb, Montgomery, Grant, so some small ones too. The things that they provide for the customers is really where the difference is in this credit card processor. You can pay by text. I can send a text message to the customer standing at the counter or on the phone, someone who says, I want to pay right now, and I can say, hey, what's the number that you're calling from? And I can put their phone number I can send them a text, and it will immediately text them the ability to pay. It is so cool. And the way that they utilize, they're already integrated with LAO, and the way that they utilize that financial information every day with emails. I could send an email to taxpayers every day if I wanted that says this is exactly how much you owe. They can click in that email and go directly to pay, meaning there is no login wall. They don't have to, am I correct? I can't believe it. They can just click on the link in an email and go to pay, and it's smart. It knows if they've paid, it knows how much they owe. So we're just super, super excited about this change. I tried to list out everything that I like in the agenda request, and the cover sheet. But if there's, I could go on and on about these cool features. If you have any questions, please ask, and we can talk about whatever you're interested in. And if Adam has anything he'd like to add, or if you want to ask Adam directly anything, he is happy to help.
Just want to say thanks so much for having me. I'm certainly not a Monroe County resident. I am a Hendricks County resident. So the similarities between Hendricks and Monroe County is they both were actually previous Invoice Cloud customers in the past. They actually switched over to a different competitor of ours, and now Hendricks has actually moved over. I was presenting to their county commissioners about 2 months ago. They're currently in implementation now, and we're looking forward to the opportunity for partnering with Monroe County to go live on behalf of the Treasurer's Office and the taxpayers for spring of 2024. And to sum up everything that Jessica said, it's a really great summary, is we're just focusing on really leveraging digital transformation. Simply put, all of us are paying our bills on our phones, right? We have this access to technology, so why don't we bring that to your taxpayers and make sure that we're not only meeting, but exceeding their expectations for how they can pay their taxes online, just like when they use Amazon.com or they're paying their cell phone bill through Verizon, right? So making sure that we're going to be providing that benefit, helping Jessica and her staff process these payments more efficiently. Also streamline and make your collections from property tax revenues more consistent, right? Fewer delinquencies, fewer preventable customer service calls, things like that. So appreciate you having me here. And I have intimate relationships with all my counties, frequently visiting on site. I think Jessica can attest to that as well. This is my 3rd trip here. It's, I really like coming here, so I'm excited to explore more of Bloomington. Thanks.
Thank you. So, questions or comments?
I have a quick question. So it's going to start in the spring, right? Okay. And then, so this is for 1 year from that start date?
So right now the contract has an initial term of, I think, 5 years right now.
Right, but it's from that start date?
Correct. The term will start after the
Once
go live.
everything's installed, got it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is 5 years and then it can renew after that?
Yeah, and then there's that renewal.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Questions or comments, Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, this is a great service for our constituents, and thank you very much, Treasurer McClellan, for putting it all together and making it happen.
For people who aren't present, it's hard to watch Jessica because she's bouncing up and down. She's so excited about doing this. Sorry. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote on invoice cloud credit card processing agreement.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Thank you both. Next item, please.
I move approval of Barnes & Thornburg LLP supplemental engagement of council regarding the bridge bond, fund name 2023 Bridge Improvements, fund number 4818, in the amount of $34,000.
Second.
And we have Mr. Cockrell.
Yes, and on this day where we expect the proceeds from that bond to occur, we wanted to kind of make sure we had a fixed amount for the bond work that Barnes & Thornburg had done. If you, their previous engagements letters in there that essentially says, here's how our fees are going to be calculated. Now that they've done their work, I asked them to do this amendment so that we can have a nice, clean document for the auditor's office and the commissioner's office, so that the claim can go through pretty easily and smoothly.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
None. Thank you.
And I would say this fee is probably a little bit higher than what we do for a 1-year GO bond, but that's because, one, this involves revenue pledges from 2 different funds. It involves a much longer issuance time, and it involves a larger bond amount.
Right. Commissioner Jones, any comments or questions?
No, I don't.
That was something like a $9 million bond, was it?
8.
8. Okay. Thank you. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote on the Barnes & Thornburg LLP supplemental engagement of council.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Next item, please.
I move approval of resolutions 2023-33, Commissioners 2024 meeting dates, and 2023-34, the 2024 appeals hearing dates.
Second.
And we have Ms. Purdy.
Yeah, this is just housekeeping for everyone. Clearly, the first one is your continuation of the Wednesday appointments or meetings, and then the resolution ending in 34 sets the appeals hearing dates, and those appeals are for township assistance appeals as well as those who may be aggrieved by our highway department.
Yeah, I've had a few of those recently. I didn't know that was part of the job. Is there any comment or question on this item? These are just public notices, basically, when we'll be holding these meetings. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote on resolutions 2023-33, Commissioners 2024 meeting dates, and 2023-34, the 2024 appeals hearing dates. All those, oh, sorry, Mr. Cockrell, please.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Next item.
I move approval of the award of the 2024 asphalt bids. Fund name, Motor Vehicle Highway Fund Number 1176.
Second.
Ms. Ridge.
Good morning. In 2023, asphalt bids were awarded to EMB Paving and Milestone in accordance to Indiana Code 36-1-12-4. In last year's bids, we did put the option in to roll over the pricing into 2024 if desired. EMB has accepted to roll over their 2023 pricing into 2024. Milestone chose not to, so therefore we'd like to award 2024 asphalt bids to EMB Paving.
Comments or questions? Any public comment on this item? It seems you're again going after saving every dime you can, Ms. Ridge. So.
And you know, it's a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen to the pricing, but this enables us to set up a program, and we know what numbers we're working with at this time. So,
right. Seeing no comments, I'll ask Mr. Cockrell to take the roll for the award for the 2024 asphalt bids.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Next item.
I move approval of the beam longest and NEF supplemental for Rockport Bridge number 308 replacement. Fund name Rockport Road Bridge number 308, fund number 8165 in the amount of $10,300.
Second.
And again, Ms. Ridge.
when the project was set up, the CRA, which is Cultural Resource Analysis, was subcontracted by our consultant. And after we've started the design of this project, it's required that we will have to do a full Section 106, which is more historical, a more in-depth study for the project. So this increase includes those services by this company that is required by NDOT for this project.
Comments or questions? Yeah, we're not allowed to just go dig anywhere we want, even if it's county property or if we have the easement, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Public comment on this item? Seeing none, call for a vote on the beam longest and NEF supplemental for Rockport Bridge number 308 replacement. Mr. Cockrell.
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
Next item, please.
Move approval of the Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, Inc. supplemental number 3 for Sample Road Phase 1 and 2. Fund names, Sample Road Phase 1 and 2, fund numbers 8161 and 8162. The total amount is $12,735, but the county's portion is going to be $2,547.
Second.
Ms. Ridge again.
When we began this project, we decided to do bi-weekly utility coordinations meetings to keep the project moving forward with the utility relocations. This is where the extra cost was incurred by construction inspection services. We will submit this to NDOT for an 80% reimbursement because we still have funds left on the PO at this time. So.
Comments or questions? Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, call for a vote on the Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, Inc. Supplemental Number 3 for Sample Road, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Mr. Cockrell?
Commissioner Githens.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Motion is approved, 3-0.
We do not have any appointments today. I will remind everyone that their COVID booster shots, COVID vaccine is available at the Monroe County Health Department. They have some vaccines that will expire soon, so if you're still waiting to do that, I urge you to contact them and make an appointment to get that. They also have free COVID testing. This is at the Monroe County Health Department at Monroe County Public Health Clinic at 333 East Miller Drive. We are still accepting applications for boards and commissioners, especially we will have several expiring early next year, so I urge residents to get involved. The commissioners continue to have virtual office hours. You can find when those are listed through the county calendar at our website at co.monroe.in.us. There are blood drives again coming up, one next Wednesday at Ivy Tech from 1 to 6, and then Friday, December 15th from 10 to 3. Also Wednesday, January the 3rd from 1 to 6, and Thursday, January the 4th from 10 to 6. In addition to what we heard today for the rural repair assistance, we also still have assistance funds for county residents who need assistance with either rent or utilities. That's for income qualified individuals. Please contact your township trustee if you are facing a problem with either rent or utilities. They're there to help you. And if you need to figure out where they are, the names, contact information is also in our minutes each month. So with that, does anyone else have anything to add? If not, we will adjourn. We will be back next week on December the 13th at 10 a.m. We do have a work session, and my time is tight, so could we come back like at 11:05 today, please? Great. See you all in a few minutes. Thank you.